Hi, I'm Paul Faronbi, aka IncrediPaul, and welcome to 6 Minute Saturdays. It's a shorter form of podcast where I dive deeper into specific leadership, business, and career topics. Today, I'm talking about transitioning jobs and navigating rejection. So, I'm going to share my experiences with this because I have had my fair share of transitions as well as rejections. So, I'm laughing because the other day I posted on my Instagram story about transitioning yet again. And one of my friends talked about having infinity stones, all the different manufacturing jobs that I've had. And so, for those wondering, now up to my fifth manufacturing job after college. And there's been specific reason for this, and it hasn't been easy. It might seem easy on the surface because I've done it so much, but there's been really reasons that I've been intentional about doing it. So first off, as you can probably see from my background, I am no longer where I was. So I was in St. Louis. I'm not in St. Louis anymore. I will keep you in suspense of where I am, unless you've been looking at my Instagram story and you probably already know you're ahead of the game. But for those who have not, stay tuned. First thing I want to talk about is I have worked for now, this is my fifth company, like I mentioned, but it wasn't always easy to transition. So the first one was a little bit easier because I was working for Conagra Brands. I actually got the offer for General Mills a week after I got there, and then I had to figure out the transition. Whole nother story. I've told it before. I'm not going to get into it right now. I want to focus on transitioning from General Mills to Nestle Purina. So I was at General Mills in Albuquerque, New Mexico, trying to get into somewhere else. I was really trying specifically to work into R&D and try to travel more, get more experience outside of just specifically being in one location at a plant, which I've loved my experiences in a plant, but I also love getting varied experiences, having different opportunities, different things every day. And so I applied to different opportunities, didn't get them. So like I actually initially had a final offer at Nestle USA in Bakersfield, California. Didn't pan out, and found out later, like actually it was not even a year after I started with Purina, that part actually got sold off. So if I had gotten that job, I would not have ever been with, or I wouldn't have been with Nestle that long. But with Purina specifically, what I want to focus on is actually the first position that I got a final interview for. I did not get the offer. And a lot of times when you don't get the offer, it's easy to think, okay, the company doesn't want me. I messed up, blah, blah, blah. But what was cool was that the recruiter, person sourcing the position said they loved my background. They loved the leadership competencies that I bring. It's just someone else had more direct experience. So they said, keep in touch. If there's any other things that come up, let us know. And I took that to heart. I know some people say that and they don't actually mean it. In this case, I found out that she did mean it. And I was able to find another position because this one was more technical position in packaging. The next one was more specific to continuous improvement, which I had experience as a process engineer, process lead, General Mills, and I got that position. And so that was interesting. And I got to go through, really navigate my career with Purina. I was there for 4 years. I have nothing but great things to say about it. I traveled extensively while I was there, which I loved, but I got married and realized that, especially being as a newlywed, it's hard to get to know your wife and understand what married life is. And tried to figure out a way to stay with Purina, but did not find that did not work. And another opportunity come up with Henkel Corporation that I took as a continuous improvement manager. Went through that. So I was there about a year, but really found out fairly quickly that the culture did not match with me and what I expected, especially coming from Purina, which had the best culture I had experienced. General Mills has a great culture, but Purina's culture, I think, is pretty much unmatched until now that I left Henkel. Now in the place I am currently, I will keep you in suspense no longer. Is now I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, so working for Mars Incorporated. And so very quickly, I will say that the first opportunity, so Mars reached out to me in the past. I wasn't really interested because I work for Purina and I'm not really one to jump to a competitor whereas I did it initially from Conagra to General Mills, but I was just a couple months out of college. So what did I know? But usually I don't do it. So this moment, I was coming from Henkel. Things with Purina were not panning out as far as opportunities. So I'd heard a lot of great things about Mars. So actually, a recruiter reached out to me on LinkedIn and helped me in Mars Pet Care. They talked to me about a specific position. What I wanted as far as R&D wasn't available. I saw some other things within like the R&D group that I applied for. I did not get that. So another thing, rejection. But what ended up happening is that I was able to get exactly the position I wanted within R&D. And that was really from being specific about voicing what I wanted, even though it wasn't available, and really trusting the process. I know the process, like depending on the recruiters and the companies, it kind of varies, but I can tell you specifically between Purina and Mars, if they tell you that they're going to stay in touch or you should reach back out, definitely keep that in mind and do it. Stay in touch because you never know. You might end up in a job that you've been wanting for a while. So I'm excited to say I'm an R&D, senior R&D process engineer with Mars, now in Nashville, Tennessee. And that was really my story about transition. So obviously I only have 6 minutes now, 6.5 minutes, but really that was my story. If you want me to go deeper into any of those things, definitely let me know. I can focus on that in a future episode. But maybe this shed some light into some of the transitions, may encourage you. If you got rejected from a company, you can still go back and eventually still work for that company. So don't give up. Don't give in. You can do it. You can truly be incredible.